Do you know the feeling when you're on vacation but everything is not good enough? And that there are always things you wish were better? If so, expectations might play a big role in your life. But what actually is an expectation? From my point of view, an expectation is an expected outcome for an event in the future. And when that outcome is not reached, you're unhappy because what you hoped for didn't happen. When I was on vacation in Italy, I had some expectations that negatively influenced the trip. After some reflection, these are my key findings why expectations made my trip less fun. If you have expectations, you think about which outcomes an event might have, and then you wish that your favorite outcome will happen. But if in the end a different outcome is reality, it becomes very hard for you to accept that outcome. I think that by not accepting different outcomes, there is a greater chance that you are dissatisfied with your life, and therefore you're also more likely to be unhappy. Thus, having no expectations makes it much easier to accept anything that will happen in your life. Since it's easier to accept things, there's also a smaller chance that you get upset about an outcome, which in turn makes it easier to be satisfied and happy. By having expectations, you're also not open for any unexpected things that will happen in your life. You basically create your own bubble and you're not open to anything that is outside this bubble. However, if you don't have any expectations, you can just let things be and be open to all the surprises life has to offer. Ideally, you view life as a lucky bag by not even trying to see what comes next and instead be taken by surprise. For me at least, the fact that I don't know what is going to happen in my life makes it interesting at all. Expectations also pull you away from the present moment, since they make you think of an expected outcome in the future. Another problem is that you might get worried when you get off the path that leads to the expected outcome. In such a case, you think about how you can still manage to get to the expected outcome rather than enjoying the present moment. Thus, it's more likely that you can fully perceive and enjoy the present moment if you don't have any expectations. Not only because you don't think about the future at first, but also because there are no worries that distract you. As you can see, expectations have many disadvantages. But I think we also need to differentiate between realistic and unrealistic expectations. When I was in Italy, I had expectations, but at least they were realistic. For example, I had the expectation that we would have good weather every day. Of course, this is not good, because I would have been disappointed if the weather had been bad, but at least it's still realistic. However, if you have unrealistic expectations, the consequences might be even worse. Because if the expectation is unrealistic, there's no way that the expected outcome will ever be reached. A few years ago, I let my happiness be taken away by unrealistic expectations. At that time I thought that being happy means that you never feel bad. I was basically looking for something that is too perfect to exist. Even though I felt quite good, I always thought that I was unhappy because there were days where I didn't feel that well mentally. But at some point I realized that being happy does not mean that you feel well every single day of your life. That realization made me understand how unrealistic my expectations were. After that moment, I accepted that it's normal to feel bad from time to time, even if you're happy, and as a result, I started to feel more and more joyful. Not because my life changed, but because my mindset changed. I learned not to let my happiness be taken away by unrealistic expectations. Instead of continuing to search my happiness in a dream world, I started to face reality, which is often not as perfect as we would like it to be. Reality, for example, means that you have to accept that there is no higher mountain to climb than Mount Everest, even if you would like to. I was basically already at the top, but still wanted more, but now I understand that there is no more.
I'm gonna love you all my life.
One thing that helped me is to try to actively identify the expectations in my daily life. Once you know where you have expectations, you can begin to eliminate them. For example, you might notice that you always want to have a perfect day at work without any major issues. When you have noticed this expectation, you can start to eliminate it. What I tried is to accept every day at work, no matter how it goes. But even more important for me was not to think about how the day might go before I even started working. Because if you think about how the day could go, there's a great chance that you will start to shape an expected outcome in your head. However, by not thinking about the future, you can avoid that expectations are being shaped in the first place. So ideally, you think as little as possible about the future and take everything as it comes. As you try to integrate this mindset into your life, you will find that your expectations become lower and lower. All in all, I think it's safe to say that if you drop your expectations, you have a much better chance of having a great time. Because living inside a bubble that is created by your expectations limits so much how you live and experience life. However, without expectations, you are completely free and open to any kind of surprise life has to offer. And as I said before, I think you really need to intentionally work on your mindset in order to lower your expectations. That's why I challenge you to also identify expectations in your daily life and try to eliminate at least one expectation for the beginning. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot for watching, I really appreciate it, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.